What's going on? Welcome to another Subie Shades video. It's been a beautiful day. Hashtag Team All Blade and hashtag No Blade Left Behind. Come on in, throw me a Subie smile, and all I gotta say is squad goals. Thank you for being here, for clicking into today's video, and for joining me, hopefully wherever you're watching from. You're drinking something cold and caffeinated, sitting in a comfy chair, ready for a shave. You know today I've got just over 48 hours of growth, and we're gonna be knocking it down with the Yaqi Ghost razors. We've got their cross-grain DC90 razor, which is a hybrid. It's a dual bar setup where you got an open comb and a flat bar option. And we're going to be comparing that to their 70, and this is their spiralized handle. If you look at these, they're absolutely beautiful. Again, they're titanium, 54 grams. And I'm doing this because I got asked probably 10 times over the weekend during the sales event over at AliExpress for Easter and for the spring sales event, how these two razors stack up, how they compare, and how they shave side by side. And so today, for everybody that's wondering, everybody that's curious, and everybody that asked, here you go. We're going to do it together. The Ghost razor lineup. Again, this is their cross grain 90 DC, and this is their dual bar against their standard 70 Ghost. That is like it's a 54 gram, very mild driving, very easy going. In my opinion, very similar to the Carve Overlander, but with a very modern angle to it. It's interesting. It's unique. And again, these are kind of conceptually taken from the Paradigm, the Salient razor, right? The kind of dimensions, the specifications that kind of started there. They took some inspiration from that design and then made it their own. Really, really excited to have the opportunity to showcase this on our channel. Again, huge shout out to Grace and to Team Yaqi for allowing us to spotlight their beautiful titanium offerings. Again, over at AliExpress. And I want to mention this again, that they were on sale just recently, and they were offering the razor, which is usually about 140 bucks, all the way down to about 100. I had a couple people reach out and said that they got the full razor for under $100 using coupons and their discount codes, which stack. I think that's really awesome, and I'm really excited to be talking about their soap as well today. This is their Lost Treasure soap, which I just think is really, really cool. Very, very, very nice smelling. It's a Paco Rabanne 1 million homage. I want to mention this. I did watch Kevy kind of do the review and his discussion on the soap. I really, really like this. It's a citrus and floral scent with a little bit of wood and a little bit of leather to make it spicy, with a cinnamon mid note, which I think is very interesting. It's very dynamic. For me, I wish it had pineapple. The only thing my nose keeps reaching for when I see this label is, where's the island? I miss the tropical fruit section. This has got grapefruit, it's got orange, and it's got mint, which you gotta admit, the top notes on that smells nice, right? That punches, that smells really, really, I would say like organic. It smells fresh, it smells clean, it smells like kind of fun, energetic maybe. And then you've got a cinnamon mid note, and I wanna call this out because some people have a really, really sensitive skin to cinnamon. I actually don't think the cinnamon in this soap is that prominent. It's there, you can smell it, but you can't feel it. And I like that. I actually like that I can smell it and not feel it as much. It doesn't really give my skin that like, ooh, none of that warming up feeling. And then the bottom tone of this is very, very nice. It's amber, it's leather, it's woody, and it's patchouli. So this wood note is giving you something that smells very clean, maybe a little effervescent, but then it mixes well with the leather and the cinnamon that kind of balances out the patchouli. I think all together, it's a really nice scent. This isn't a new scent. Paco Rabanne scent. It's been out for quite a while, and it's a cool little bottle. I don't own the actual fragrance, but I like the bottle of it. It's like a gold bar, which I think is really cool, and it smells really, really upscale for not a whole lot of money. I will mention that the actual EDT is not a ton of money, but I do like what they've done with it, and I will say I agree with Kevy. As I smash the soap into my bowl, because right off the puck, it's kind of almost too condensed, but as I smash the soap in the actual bowl, which is their Yaqi, and this is their travel, this is like their travel, it collapses silicone bowl. As I did that, it just really opened up, and you can see the soap today is ultra hydrated. And I will mention, I've been using this the soap shank. I've been calling it the soap shank from Ian, and I've been over lathering and kind of over scooping. And I had a bunch of people reach out and say, "Oh, why are you using so much?" I love using the Ian's scooper. I just have so much fun shanking my soap, slicing it up, that I do usually use a little too much. I'm still dialing that in, but the soap today was awesome. It's just really, really like I would say it just smells upscale. Very, very nice scent. Again, Paco Rabanne, it's their homage, their tribute to of 1 million. Really, really nice scent. content. Let's get in here. Let's talk about some razors, and let's talk shop here. I'm really excited because both of these razors, right, when they first released in titanium, I think they took the market by like kind of surprise. They said, look what we can do, right? The Ghost came out. It was a titanium razor from Yaqi, and it really showcased some like that satin finish. It had really good tolerances. It's got the bar rather than pins as far as stabilizing and securing your blade. Blade alignment's very, very, very good without having to really fiddle with it. You just put the blades in and load it. I don't have any issues. I always check my blades for straightness. Occasionally I'll get a bar, like a box, and I'll check my blades. And these razors have been some of the nicest, like loading from like just assembly that I've found from Yaqi, where you just put the blade in, you screw it together, and it all assembles straight, clean, and tight, which I really appreciate. Now, the question came up from probably 10 different people, how these two compare, which one I would order if I were to, be utilizing the discount on one razor. Which one would I chase? And for me, I think the best thing is like, I'm a person that loves to have variability and variation and customizability for my shave every single day. And because of that, I really like this 90 DC it's their open comb closed bar 90 gap. And again, this is 90 gap versus 70 gap. And I want to first start off by saying, I don't think it makes that big of a difference as far as the actual performance from flat bar to flat bar side. When you look at the 70 to the 90 gap, they have the same exposure, so they feel very similar. The only small little, like I would say, gain on the 90 DC side is that you do get more angle manipulation. With the 70, right, what I'm doing is, especially on my face shave today, I go in like this, and then I almost have to go at a more shallow angle where I'm going like this. Does that make sense? So I go in usually like this, and then I kind of tilt up as I can feel the blade engage, and it's a more shallow angle on the 70 versus the 90. And I like on the 90, I can get that little bit steeper angle, especially as a head shaver, where you're kind of fiddling around your ear sometimes. You're trying to get those little more difficult angles. This is a little bit more forgiving on the actual angle, at least it is for me. I also really like the ability to switch to an open comb side. I made sure to go back and forth. I did a little bit of over shaving on my face just to kind of showcase that you can kind of switch back and forth between that closed bar and open bar situation. You get really close to the closed bar or open bar with lots of flow, and then you flip it over and you get that finalized, finished, kind of just just a buttery smooth like shave using the flat bar side. I really like this. Let's start some shaving. I'll continue talking, but I'm really, really happy with the 90 DC. As far as grip goes, I would say the grip here is substantially better on the actual cross cut, the whatever you want to call it. It's their cross grain. It's like a diagonal cutout handle. I like that a little bit better. Personally, man, this is so nice. I have to admit that when they released this razor, I was one of the people in the community that was really taken by surprise. I said, wow, if they can do this, what can't they do, right? I mean, I was really impressed with Yaqi's stainless steel offerings, and then they came out with titanium. And in their titanium, I think they've actually reached for the premium kind of level. I think they're going for that premium segment. Again, this is $140 as is, like without any discounts or anything like that. But even at $140, I think it really compares with some of the things up in the $200 and $300 range. That's my personal opinion. And I think because of that, I think you're still getting a steal of a deal on a very, very high-end, very expensive, going to last a lifetime as far as shaving goes, quality piece of razor, right? A piece of equipment. It's really, really nice. As a head shaver, I love this razor. I know some of the actual specs and design were taken from the Paradigm Salient razor, but I've got to admit, the mildness to this razor, the smoothness to this razor, as a head shaver, it's very, very forgiving. It's autopilot mode. I'm going to switch it over to the flat bar side. I just want to kind of go back and forth here, but I will let you know when I'm doing that. I really like to see how the razor performs. It's been a lot of fun. This is one I've reached for probably 5 times now. I was going to say 6, but it's probably more like 5 times. It's just such a smooth, easygoing razor that when I want kind of a thoughtless, mindless, absolutely zero effort, autopilot style head shave, this is what I like to reach for. Now, when people like ask me about autopilot razors, you got to admit there's a lot of them out in the market right now that are a zero kind of exposure style, like the Henson, that have like a preset angle to it. And this is similar. You can see that blade is almost like sitting at that same angle as the head head cap. It's got a little bit more of a modern bevel to it. It's wider. It covers the blade taps, which I also really like. But as far as the actual shave comparison to like the more modern razors, I think this falls more in between a modern and a vintage, where actually the cap has a little bit more of a roundness to it than I feel like razors that are a little bit like as far as smoothness, polished, because they don't adhere to the skin. They don't have any suction to the skin. Whereas I almost feel like this has a little bit of suction to it as far as the satin goes. That's my personal opinion. I've heard a lot of people debate back and forth, so please don't come after. That's just my preference. Is usually I like a polished surface. The other thing is wearing. So the actual color of the satin is beautiful. It's like this like space gray, I would call it. It's just a really, really nice gray. But as the water it kind of dries to the surface, as it kind of changes temperature, the color of the finish is changing, which does lead me to believe it will be susceptible to tea staining. And tea staining is not new to the community. It's something that people have mentioned and seen for a lot of years, with like things like the Rockwell 6S, razors that, have satin bathrooms that are satin, they will stain if they're not continually taken care of. So for me, it is a razor I think would look nice polished, and I think I would have a little bit less issue with like tea staining, which I believe this finish eventually will have to come off, because the tea staining will bother me. It will annoy me. But I want to call that, if you're shopping the razor and you're looking at the different options, the satin version does typically kind of have that issue. We're going to switch it up here. We're going to go to the flat bar side. This is also, like I said, very, very good. I was very pleased with the 70 when it came out. I had absolutely very little criticisms and feedback for Yaqi when it came to the actual razor's performance. And it's been really nice and kind of interesting to see them going from just one razor offering all like to 3 or 4 with different styles. I love this beautiful handle, right? It's a beautiful handle. Look at the stubble coming off here. Look at the flow. No buildup problems. Oh, wet shaving, so much fun, right? When you're shaving off stubble like this, like it's 3 days or 3 days of growth, and you're just you have buildup everywhere, and you know that a cartridge would not flow that well. Oh, that is really nice. I love seeing razors like this that are smooth. They have the performance you need. They are really easy to use. Look at this thing. Yeah, it's really, really enjoyable. Again, but I have to, like I said, I go in and then I tilt up. You see how we did that with my ear right there? That is with the angle that I have to follow every single swipe to make this razor perform as close as the 90. And the 90 just takes a little bit less thought as far as getting that angle down, but it's a very easy angle once you've learned it, and it is not hard to do. And you can see, look at the performance. It chops. I think there has been a huge dynamic shift in the community in wet shaving in general that has said, it's really changed the perspective of people, like as far as performance goes. I think for a long time, everybody was saying, if you want a very fast, very effective, very close, zero irritation shave, you needed blade gap and you needed blade exposure. And I think there's almost been kind of like a resurgence of like utilizing very sharp blades, right? That we can get a very close, very easy shave, but with like almost zero blade fill. And I love this razor for that fact. If you're looking for a mild razor, you don't like blade fill, this razor is going to do it for you. I'm telling you, it's one of those ones, when I found it, when I started using it, I said to myself, this could be one of the ones that, as far as like sensitive skin shavers go, the one I would recommend. It's so darn easy to use. It has absolutely zero blade fill. It gives a very, very close, very, very comfortable shave consistently. And the best part about it, right? The best part about it is that it's as smooth as some of the more efficient, more aggressive razors. I love it. It's way, way, way smooth and very close shaving. Love that. It just doesn't feel like you should be getting that good of a shave, right? That's really the whole thing. It gives you a smoother shave than you would expect, right? It kind of takes you by surprise. I think that is awesome. I love seeing products like this where you're just like, I feel like I'm cheating. It feels like a wet shaving cheat code, being able to get a shave this close with this little blade fill, with this little effort, right? Look at this. I'm just kind of going to town, no problems, no issues, no fear I'm going to have a nick or irritation, doing a little bit of buffing, doing a little bit of overshaving, and loving it. That is so much fun. Again, with that spiralized handle, I love this. Now, I want to mention this for anybody out there that is loving the spiralized handle, saying to themselves, well, that looks exactly like my Aristocrat of old, right? The vintage Gillette Aristocrat. I want to just showcase what that actually looks like side by side. I don't know if I've ever done that before, but here you go. This reminds me on the right, the Yaqi handle, almost more of the above the tie spiralized handles. If you've ever seen those, they're just a little bit like less, I would say, intense. you can see, look at they knurl this on Gillette's side, and then they spiralized it where there's not really the knurling on the Yaqi side, so it doesn't quite have as much grip. Honestly, if you look at the actual grip here, but I think it looks very classy. It's very nice, very elegant, and without those like the knurling on there, right? To have that pop to it, it just has a very unique look. I love that. I love the spiralized handle. I just think that's really cool. They just barely came out with this, and I actually was really excited about it because spiralized titanium. Come on, that's about as premium as you're gonna get, and that's coming from Yaqi, where I mean, a lot of people never expected them to swing for that segment. I know I didn't. What a shave. It is close, it is comfortable, and I absolutely do not want to go over the other side with the other razor because of how good that shave was. We're going to do it. I am just really quickly going to throw in a little bit of lather here, and we're going to go over the secondary sides and see how they did side by side, because honestly, I want you guys to be able to make the decision that's best for you without having to kind of, you know, buy razors and chase razors that wouldn't fit your preference or your style. So we're grabbing ourselves the other razor, and we're going to do some cross passes here, do some double checking on this side. We're going to see how we did. Oh my goodness, talk about absolutely zero stubble on my head, nothing coming off whatsoever. That is such an easy, close, comfortable, very, very enjoyable shave on the 70 side. And like I said, this is entirely for your guys' information, because in my opinion, these two razors with the right angle shave the exact same way. There's no difference. I don't think you really see a performance update one way or the other as far as the closeness goes. Now, if because of the actual usability of the hybrid, you get the dual bar setup and the little bit different angle. I do like this razor better. I do like the handle too. I think the handle's a little bit grippier, and I think that the actual you know, like just the specs of the razor make it just drive a little bit easier. I want to call that out because I think some people will pick up the 70 razor right here, the Ghost, their standard Ghost, and say, well, this doesn't shave, this is too mild, where they're just not willing to chase that angle. And I think this is a razor of angles, right? I think this is very much just like all the other very, very smooth, mild, but close shaving razors. If you're willing to find that angle, right, you tilt up and tilt in, you can give yourself a shave that is just absolutely sublime. Look at how nice, how comfortable, how easy, how effortless. It just flows. This thing just cuts so close. Look at that. I even got a little bit off around my ears. I felt it come off around my ears where I had missed a spot on the other side where I just got kind of lazy and didn't follow that angle quite as good. You can even see this is doing a little bit of clip. I love this. I have had a little bit more practice with this razor than the other one. But when I just get in there and I just kind of tilt my wrist like this and just really let that razor go to the right angle, that is a sweet shaver, right? All that technique with this one. Not so much about like the huge massive specs and all the blade and all the exposure. It's just about technique and letting your wrist give yourself the shave that you really want, the pivot, give it the right angle to give that razor all the performance you could ever ask for. What a smooth, close, comfortable shave. Again, I wish the soap today had a little bit of like, I don't know, more like a pineapple or some kind of like, you know, islandy scent, right? I would like a little like an islander drink style. I don't know, there's something about this. Coconut would be really nice. I think Lost Treasure would really benefit from something more tropical. That's just my, like, pina colada. Give me a pina colada. That's all I'm asking for. Give me a margarita scent. I don't know. This is the Lost Treasure scent to me. It does kind of smell like a ritzier, more expensive. I do like the grapefruit. It's very present. The grapefruit's there, the mandarin. The mint is kind of funny because it stays at the top and then it's gone. It's absolutely gone. Oh, what a beautiful one. The cinnamon mixing together with the leather. That is the weirdest part of the whole scent for me. It's the cinnamon leather that my nose doesn't know what to do because it's like, oh, spring. I like this fruit. I like it. Leather, cinnamon. It's a strange balance, but I think it works. And I think obviously, right, it's popular for a reason. It smells so good and it has no burn to it. It's so nice seeing cinnamon used properly and seeing cinnamon kind of accentuated without having all the like heat behind cinnamon. Oh, what a cool, interesting, very enjoyable shave today was. Lost Treasure again from Yaqi, but it is a collab with Master Soap Creations. I love that. Really, really, really enjoyable shave today, and awesome razors. I will just say this, the performance of both of these has been phenomenal. If you're again really investigating, searching for one versus the other, I still would go with the options, right? I would still go with the one that provides all the different options. But if you're just looking for a flat bar of mild, easy daily driving, very smooth but effective shaver, the 70 is no slouch, and I do believe the 70 still has a place, and it really would provide a lot of people searching for a mild but very close shave, like an option. I just really like both of these. Again, beautiful titanium premium upscale safety razors being offered by Yaqi. I don't think you can go wrong with either of them, to be honest, but I do personally reach for this one a little bit more nowadays, but I always forget when I use this one, right, how good it can shave, especially at the right angle. Thank you for being here. If you haven't, please go below, smash that sub button. I'd love to talk to you in the comments. And until I see you guys down there, Subes out.